This isn't just mussels in a red sauce. It's a scene waiting to unfold. Before a single mussel touches the pot, the stage is alive. Onion and garlic sizzling, tomatoes darkening into a deep, bold red, and the steam lifts like a curtain before the performance begins. Then the mussels open, and suddenly the whole kitchen feels like the coast of southern Italy. This is my red sauce, the one I make for my family. So come into my kitchen and I will show you how I make it. Fresh mussels often comes with a fibrous beard like you see here. Fresh mussels don't just have a fibrous beard. Many also come with a rugged barnacles on the shell, which I scrape off with a knife. I then give the mussels a good rinse under cold running water. I move them around with my hands, and you'll notice the water gets cloudy. That's all the impurity coming off. I change the water a couple of times until it runs clean. Clear water, coarse salt, and let the mussel rest until cooking. Ingredients: extra virgin olive oil, 1 stick of butter cut in two, 1 red onion chopped, garlic clove minced, 4 anchovies, 2 tablespoons of capers. Hot pepper is optional, but I added 2 of them. A good tablespoon of tomato paste. 1/4 cup of parsley. Half a lemon juice. Cherry tomatoes on a vine. Linguine are perfect for seafood pasta. 1 kilo of mussels. 1 glass of Pinot Grigio. We begin by pouring a good Italian olive oil into a deep pot, letting it heat slowly so it can build that rich, fragrant base for our mussels. We start with 1. Let's make sure that the butter is melted, like so. Perfect. And now we add the 1 onion that we chopped. And we let it soften a little bit. And at the same time that the onions are being softened, we're going to add the 4 anchovies. I guess one wants to stay in my little bowl. There we go. Now, the anchovy will elevate the flavor of the sauce. And we have to make sure they're melted. And I will lower the heat a bit because it helps the anchovies melt easy. Oh, there's the steam. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, now we're going to add the minced garlic. Because we want it to get cooked. There we go. Now that the garlic and onion are nicely ready, we are going to add the tomato paste and we're going to toast it. Now that the tomato paste is nicely toasted, we are going to add a nice glass of Pinot Grigio. And we're going to let it simmer away. Make sure you scent the vapor. If it smells like wine, it's not ready to add your tomatoes. Now for me, it's time to add the little tomatoes. Cook it down. And as well, we're going to add the tablespoon of capers. And I chopped up 2 little hot peppers, but this is optional. So now we're gonna bring it to a simmer for maybe a good 10-15 minutes until the tomatoes are nice and soft. And then we are going to add the mussels. I guess today I'm too close with the camera and I get the steam. I'm checking to see if the tomatoes are soft. They're almost there. And I'm going to add some salt. Oh my goodness, this steam today for some reason. A little bit of salt. And I'm going to add a pinch of pepper also. Okay, so now I'm going to add the mussels. All in there. And we are going to mix it. Oh my goodness. This looks yummy. Delicioso, as my granddaughter would say. And we will cover it. And as soon as they open up, we know they are ready. Wow, they're open. So my next step is going to remove them from the shell. I'm going to keep a few of them to decorate the plate. And I'm going to prepare the pasta and with the sauce. I'm going to remove them from here. Put them there for now. Now I removed the mussels from the shell. This is what's remaining of the sauce, and this is what it was as I was scooping up the mussels. This is going back into the sauce. So now I'm adding the mussels back into the sauce, and I'm going to finish the sauce. Now that I added the mussels in the sauce, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. The next step is to add the remaining butter. So that's going to melt. I picked this pasta from the brand Gigi, Pasta di Gragnano, IGP. And it is basically pasta extruded in bronze. So it is a pasta that will take a little bit longer to cook. I think it's between 12 and 14 minutes. So we're going to do that now. We're going to salt the water and we're going to get going for this. The pasta water is boiling. We're going to salt it like the sea. It's like 3 little pinches, sometimes even 4. I always adjust it at the end. So I want to show you the pasta here. It's called Linguine con arco, meaning that the pasta itself, I'll show you, it has like an arch. These are going to be amazing with our mussel sauce. Okay, I am going to add the pasta. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. There we go. I will mix it. The butter is all melted. And the next step, we're going to be adding fresh parsley. Italian flat fresh parsley. So I added the pasta in the water and I put a timer for 13 minutes. So these 13 minutes is the time where I relax and tell you a little bit about this recipe, because it's a recipe I've been doing for my family, which I call it the red sauce. And I also have another one that is just the plain white sauce, as we call it, which I'll probably do a video on it. This is something that is really quick to do. You can enjoy the mussels as is, meaning with that sauce, and don't have the pasta with it. But if you want to have a little bit more substantial meal, you can add your pasta. And that will make it a really good meal for a family that enjoys mussels. I know a lot of people don't enjoy mussels, but every single one in my family, they do. So I am now going to relax, have a little bit of orange juice, and see you later. Let me add a little bit of parsley before I forget. I turn up the heat and give it all a good stir to wake up those flavors. These are linguine con arco. They start with that beautiful arch because they're dried, folded over a rod. But once they cook, the arch disappears and they straighten out completely. They're also twice as long as regular linguine. And now I add a ladle of that starchy pasta water. It brings everything together and makes this mussel pasta even more perfect. Give it a good stir. I add a few mussels on top for a beautiful presentation and then finish it with fresh parsley. And just like that, my friends, the curtain falls on today's recipe. But the story continues. If you enjoyed this moment in my kitchen, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And join me when the next dish takes the stage. Ciao!